third round of the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup 2020. This is round 3 of 4. This track is one of the flipping coolest tracks for analysing. There's so many lines, there's so much going on out there. Right now there's a bit of cloud inversion going on behind me. We're above the clouds. This is a big mountain, big track, lots to look at, but there's a really cool bit with some multi-lines out in the open where the live feed is going to be filming, so we're going to check that out, see what's going on. Let's work our way down the track, see some riders riding, and get to analysing. Let's go. Yeah, Michaela. Woo! You can see the guy in the high line carried way more speed in, but then brake checked heavily on the edge. And the person came in the low was going slower, but didn't have to brake check as much. Because they went over the edge at the same speed. But if you could do the high, trust your line and not brake check on the edge, that would be faster. It'd be very hard to do. Because like the turn on the flat is not ideal, but you don't want speed into the next bit, so having no exit speed is actually not that much of a concern.
It's good. A little slippery, real foggy, so some of the hard pack stuff is slick, but this stuff is so much fun. Yeah. Just deep powder and just sliding around is sick.
Are the corners blown out at the top? Or
yeah, a lot of the outsides have massive holes, so it's either like trying to go a little inside of them or full inside, just inside. Just seems to be pretty good in a couple spots.
Yeah.
It's getting better by the minute. Like, it was really slippy yesterday. There's some bits that are still really slippy this morning. But it should just get drier through the day. The sun's just trying to peek through. But you know, it is nearly November, so it's just skirting that horizon. Skirt!
But is that it's the comfort zone to release?
Yeah.
Because if you brake too much, you slide. But if you release, then you get more grip.
What's going on here, Ben?
Right, okay. So in this section, riders come in on the same central line, but then there's a split. There's actually about 4 different options here, but most riders are either going fully wide, round the scoop, then you get this little sketchy zone where there's not a whole lot of grip. There's a bit of an outside rut, there's a bit of an inside ledge. Tricky. Rock around to rock around, that's right, on time it's tricky. tricky. Most riders were doing this yesterday, but now riders are doing this. Inside line. So this is a fresh bit of track. No tyres had been on this ground before yesterday. Started out just all nice and fresh, but as riders come in, brake, turn, it churns up the ground and a rut just develops. Because it's soft dirt, it's changing every run. You'll do it one run and it'll be solid. You'll be like, this is the best line. You come back, the rut's moved half a foot to the left and the end of it's blowing out.
You ruined it!
So it's unpredictable. Some people would say it's a bit of a lottery whether this is going to be good or not, but then they say that when it's wet. I think these people that say things are lotteries don't know what they're talking about. This is rad. Changing stuff is good because you've got to think on your feet or on your wheels and make things work.
I think if you can get the inside, that's definitely faster. But it seems to catch a lot of riders. They're too much on the brakes. So just like up here, if you lace the brakes as you exit the inside, then that will definitely be faster.
On this section we're going to look at Miriam Nicole doing the inside and also Eleonora Farina, I think that's how you pronounce her name, the Italian racer, and they both do the inside because no girls actually did the outside. So let's compare the two of them and see who got it better, because execution is everything. So they both come in really similar, but coming out, Miriam actually just coasts it, she doesn't pedal. Farina pulls away, but there was a little dab there just as she was going down into the steep bit. And then coming up to this big step down, either Farina is clipping back in or she brake checks and Miriam Nicole catches her up for a draw. Interesting one there on the exit. Interestingly enough, she must have been slower going off the drop because she cases it and actually has a really nasty crash. She did get back up and get back on the bike. The 2 fastest riders through this section on the inside line were Danny Hart, as we just see here, and we think Remy Therion. They really need to get different kits. It's so hard to tell them apart. So let's compare the two on the inside line. They both come into it, and Remy's already in the lead. He must have come in much more aggressively. Will he stall in the turn? No, he does not. He gets it super clean, and already that is a bike length and a half in front of Danny. It's a really convincing lead for Remy. He'd have to do something pretty severe to lose it, or Danny just gets the corner absolutely insane at the bottom, and he is catching. He's catching coming up to the drop. It's going to be really close. Danny's in the lead. Danny is going for it. And Danny takes it by 0.09. It looks like Danny got the corner on the exit into the uphill better than Remy, and that actually made more of a difference. He was the fastest man on the inside, but no one was doing the outside. We had to get some cash out and bribe someone to do it.
I'll just do it for the video. Do it to be on Cathro Vision.
We appreciate you.
Go! We said we give Douglas 5 to do the outside. I'm gonna give it. Yes, that was sick. So that's about as fast as we think you can get the outside in these conditions. So let's have a comparison and see what's better. So Douglas comes in absolutely flat out. He's already looking like he's in front of Deprella. This is looking good, but oh, he stalls a little bit, and Deprella is already on the gas. He's already into the next bit, and he's got the favourable line. I think we can see why not many people are doing the outside today, and yep, that's nearly half a second. So yep, stick to the inside.
And in sections like this, it's really key to place the bike, get the momentum right, to almost like make a stop here, to carry a maximum of speed here without losing the height of the corner here. You can see that it's getting blown towards the exit, so you want to make the first pressure point at the inside, a second pressure point when you are deep in the route, with one single braking at the beginning to be able to really be above the tree and carry a good speed out of the left and right for the uphill going there.
So that section we were just looking at, where most riders are doing the inside, you have to get the exit clean because there's a little bit of an uphill into one of the heftiest, nastiest drops into a holdout turn on the track. A lot of riders are freaking out about it, and people were trying to get inside the hole. And now the hole's gotten bigger and you can't get inside. It's a nasty bit. We're going to go a bit further down. Let me talk you down this open section where they very kindly chopped down all the trees for maximum viewing pleasure. So, big dodgy drop, out the trees and into that gnarly left-hand berm. It's catching a few people out. We've seen a few of the girls having some nasty cases and a couple bad crashes on it. So you get through that cleanly, you're pretty relieved. And then over a crest into a right-left, few multi-lines there. Bit of a mix between inside and outside, but we're not looking at that bit, we're not looking at that bit. Fast straight, big old crest and compressions, and into another multi-line, inside, really rocky, few roots, tight turn at the bottom, much shorter. Down into a compression, over another crest, into the GoPro Hyper Smooth 3 section. You come in and it splits, and there's 3 lines. Originally, people were just doing the main line, which is down these wooden steps they've kind of buried into the ground, and into a flat turn at the bottom. This flat turn dictates what you do, because that's like the hardest bit to carry speed on. So to begin with, there was just a dirty line down the middle, down the steps, and then inside started to open up. Do the turn higher up the hill, get off the brakes sooner, and carry that speed onto the flat section, because you're going straighter, you don't have to turn as much on that flat bit. But then, as people started going wider, pushing out to the tape, taking an outside, to try and get straighter also for the join onto that flat bit. It was rubbish to begin with, but then a rut started to develop and people started hooking that rut. That's working really good as well. But then people are still making the middle line work. Other people are on the inside. The inside's really tricky, it's got roots on it. But if you can pick the wheels up over those roots and get off the brakes, it works really well, but it's slower in, so it's like, oh, which is going to work? They all look really good, but it looks like most people are making that outside rut work the best. So that's like rider's favourite at the minute. But yeah, a few have made the main line work, and one rider in particular got the inside just, oh, beautifully. Matt Walker had it nice. Yeah, we'll compare that one. So we're going to compare those. See what works. Is it going to be the slower entrance but off the brakes earlier, or the longest way round but it scoops you into the flat bit real nice? I just don't know. One thing about this section is the inside is really, really hard to get into, as you would have seen. Danny got it clean there, but here he comes for his second attempt, and you could see he was wanting it, but he just is so hard to slow down for. Look at him, he's eyeing it up, he's trying to get his speed under control, but he's missed the entrance point, so he dives down onto that middle line. Super hard to get. Here's Troy Brosnan. Oh, he gets onto it, but he dangled a leg, and that's not something he normally does, so he went for another. Got it much cleaner, but that did look a lot slower. So let's compare. So let's have Troy Brosnan with a clean one and Tori on the leg dangler. You can see them coming in. Tori is on the inside. You can see the foot coming off. There it goes. And Troy, he's looking clean, but you can see he's falling back. Tori with the leg dangler is taking the lead, but wait a second, Troy, he went light into that crest. He's pumped down it, and you're just going to have to take my word for it here. But he's caught him up. He's in the lead now, but Tori's a bit wider coming into the turn. It's anyone's game, and it looks like a draw. We'll go with a draw. Yeah, so yeah, draw. Dakota Norton here was one of the quickest guys hooking that outside, and then we got Matt Walker, clean and super efficient on that inside. We got to compare these two. Let's see what works. So here they come into this section. You can see Matt setting up super high to get into that inside line. Dakota's already, he's gone, he's checking out, he's hitting that outside rut. You can see him carrying speed, but Matt, he's higher up that hill, he's got all that potential energy, he's off the brakes, and he's going to get a huge pump down this slope. And coming up into this next bit, Dakota's going to take a different line, so we're going to have an early finish line here. So it looks like Dakota just took that, but Matt was catching up there, so it is a close one. Faster than both the previous riders was Loic Bruni on the outside, and most riders were choosing between outside and inside, but Matteo was like, nah mate, straight down the middle, classic original line. Let's see what was quicker. So Loic, as I said before, he's heading for that outside, he's setting up, he's spying that rut, but Matteo's just not even phased, off the brakes and heading straight down that middle line. But the turn at the bottom is trickier, it's harder to carry the speed out of it, but Matteo makes it work. Carrying really good speed, but Bruni is catching. He's coming. Here he comes. Big legs himself is catching up. And it's going to be flipping close at the line. And oh, Matteo just takes it. Fair play to the man. He got fastest man of this section. Ow. Do you see that? Ow. That's going to do it for Inside the Tape today here in Lousa for round 3. Really interesting sections. It's going to be such a good race. Make sure you stay tuned for the live feed that's going to be on Friday and on Sunday. And there'll be another raw video coming out on Pinkbike soon, so stay tuned for that. Let us know what you felt about everything down in the comments, and we'll probably see you at some point. 2021 maybe. In a bit.